Okay, the Grand Prix of Spain, or the Spanish Grand Prix, whichever you'd like to call it, doesn't really matter. Spanish Grand Prix takes place at the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya.
It matters.
It doesn't matter. People call it both. Doesn't matter that much. It is officially the Spanish Grand Prix.
Oh, you're the best.
66 lap race, circuit length of 4.7 kilometers. Tim, you've actually driven this track.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
Okay.
So hopefully there'll be no accidents. We won't spin out or anything.
Yeah.
I've only needed to do 5 laps.
It's a real racetrack.
It's
a real racetrack.
It is a real racetrack.
And
I love this track.
This is an interesting one because this is the last race that the Flexi Wing's going to be allowed in.
Well, yeah, this is where the Flexi Wing clampdown is going to happen here.
So this is kind of a big deal. This will be a big of starting point for a lot of teams. And you know what the first third of the season has been. Yeah. That will be the outlier. The next 2/3, we're gonna really know what the cars look like, which is kind of neat. Now, this is the 55th running of the Spanish Grand Prix and the 35th held at the Barcelona-Catalunya track. Last year, Lando Norris got pole position, but was beaten to the finish line by Max Verstappen, probably because he didn't have a great start. Tim, what did you do?
Oh, this pillow thing.
Just the pillow thing? Fun fact, the Spanish Grand Prix is one of the oldest races dating back to 1913. Both Lewis Hamilton and Michael Schumacher hold the record for most wins with 6 each. Now, here's my question. Are Ferrari good enough to get Lewis the 7th win at this race, do you think?
We'll see what happens with the Flexi Wing clampdown, right, Adam?
Right.
I think that's going to pull some teams back, but I think in the paddock, some people don't know how much that's going to happen with some teams. Like, they feel that McLaren should be pulled back a little bit. May not be like a huge amount, but it could bring some teams, backwards, right? I don't think Ferrari would be one of them, which is probably good for Lewis Hamilton.
Now, Daniel Kvyat, of all people, that's a name, right? Daniel Kvyat, former driver for
a name from the past
for Toro Rosso and for Red Bull. He was famously booted from his seat mid-season for some young guy named Max Verstappen.
Here.
Whatever happened to that guy? He was booted here.
Yeah.
He said that if Ferrari have not made serious strides or are not in the championship running by this time next year, Tim, there could be some major changes with the management structure there, including potentially Freddie Vasseur and John Elkann. So I want to know what you think about those comments.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree on all of that. Honestly, like, Ferrari is a tough organization to run, tough team to run. I think Vasseur has done a good job up until now. I mean, yeah, they've gone the wrong way on a couple things with this car this year. Look, can it be fixed? I think so, right? Like, I think it can be fixed. But that being said, I wouldn't just go and just start firing people. I mean, because I think that was one of their problems in the past, right? Just going in there and taking the axe to it and kind of scaring people for their jobs and all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't think that really works. So it's going to be...
You're building towards something over the course of years. Now, the thing is, Ferrari has gotten better since the Mattia Binotto years, right? Like, it is
sure.
That there's still the lack of confidence in some of their strategy decisions, but you're starting to see some results, though.
Yes.
Right? Like, Lewis a couple weekends ago, going from 12th to 4th, that's not nothing. That's huge.
Yeah, his Imola race was really impressive. It really looks like that's where he was able to unlock a lot of performance from the car and feel comfortable. But again, I think his relationship with his engineer is starting to build and get better and stronger. It just takes time. I think, like, in Monaco Media Day, Carlos Sainz was kind of right in the way of, like, people have been too harsh on Hamilton at Ferrari right now. And I agree with Sainz on that. For sure.
Unless he'd gotten like 2 wins in his first 7 or 8 races here, I feel like that was always going to be the case. They were probably prepared for that.
I mean, look, I think Lewis was prepared for some struggles. I think the team was as well. It just takes time, man. Like, it's always, and like, look, it's the same with like any sport, right, Adam? Where there's a lot of expectation on a big time player coming into a team. And if they don't start performing like right away or doing something that the fan wants, the fan gets upset about it.
Sure.
That starts a whole thing. So, look, it just takes time. He'll get there. And, like, obviously, the team would love him to win here in Spain, but obviously they want him to win another championship, especially with them.
So I want to talk a little bit about, and this is something that's a story that goes really underrated. This is a home race for Carlos Sainz, home race for Fernando Alonso, okay? And, what we don't often hear about, we hear about the British media and their issues, right? We hear about the Dutch media and they're following around Max Verstappen. I think Drive to Survive had the whole Thailand, throngs of people showing up for Alex Albon and how excited they were.
Yeah, for sure.
The Spanish media are really tough. They are, they are very, very well connected. And Spanish F1 fans are intense, as they are with their soccer teams as well. So Tim, what kind of a weekend is it going to be like for somebody like Carlos Sainz and somebody like Fernando Alonso? Carlos, obviously, coming on strong with Williams. Fernando, not in the best car at the moment, but an absolute F1 legend who everybody loves. This has got to be a tougher weekend for both.
I think so, yeah. I mean, maybe not so much for Carlos because things have been going really well for him, but like you said with Fernando, I mean, this could be a good track for Aston Martin. We'll see because of the floor they brought to Imola. We'll see how it works here because obviously Monaco is a different track. Mm-hmm. And I think the main thing is for the team is trying to figure out, is everything working in conjunction with each other? Is the wind tunnel, CFD, is all of that aligning? Because the floor they introduced in Imola is essentially the very first thing that they've built for this car under this new technical directorship from Andy Cowell and Adrian Newey. So, I mean, Adrian Newey didn't build the floor. He had no really anything to say about it. That was being done by a separate team. However, it does look like hit a little bump there. It does look like, I mean, it's added some performance to the car. And for Fernando, he just wants to get that one victory, right? That one elusive win that he needs.
Right, and this was the same media group, by the way, and this is going to give you an idea of how intense the Spanish media can be. This was the same media group who were suggesting, I think it was last year at this time, or maybe it was 2 years ago now, that Fernando was dating Taylor Swift.
Oh,
remember that? And they made a whole thing about it. The Aston Martin social media team, who are excellent, sure, they leaned into that a lot. It was great.
But didn't he do something for TikTok?
Yes, a few things. I'm always amazed because Fernando is such a personality. I'm always amazed at what requests they give him and what he says yes to.
Yeah.
And during that, I think that was 2 years ago. That was pre-Travis Kelce. I was blown away by how much he was like, yeah, whatever. We'll mess around with this. This will be fun. He seems like he can be a really fun guy.
Yeah, he's great. I like Fernando a lot. I just remember that because I was like, there's no way.
Right.
As soon as someone had come up to me who was kind of new to F1, and they were like, is Fernando Alonso dating Taylor Swift? I'm like, there's no way. There's just no way.
Where would they even have met?
I mean, no offense to Fernando, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but just like, there's just no way. That's not happening.
But here's the thing. There's a reason why I kind of suck, because it's like, you can see it a little. He's Fernando Alonso, right? Like, he's cool.
Yeah.
Drives fast cars.
Yeah. Okay.
World champion.
Yeah.
Again,
you've sold me, Adam.
I wondered, she was on her Eras tour at that point and on the other side of the world. So again, where would they have met? But it was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
So talking about this track a little bit, Tim, again, obviously you've raced here. This is a fun track to drive for drivers. They like this one.
Never raced here, tested here, but
tested
yes,
here, sorry.
It's a great track. Drivers love it. Yeah, I mean, I think this is just the perfect combination of slow corners, fast corners. It gives you a better sense of where you're at with your car. So we'll probably see a lot of updates to cars for this weekend. Obviously, with the flexi wing clamp down, we'll probably see a lot of cars with a lot of new front wings as well. Mm-hmm. But that being said, this is the perfect track to bring new components, new equipment to, and just test it out because it's going to give you the perfect balance of everything that you need for your car so you can understand what you've got. These laps are horrible. It's hard to talk to you and do this.
Yes,
Adam.
I
Let me tell you.
Now, do you want me to shut up and we can do this? I want to see you do a full lap. I know you got black and white flagged on the last one here, so we're gonna we'll do the full Tim test lap, and I'll just carry the commentary.
So we're gonna do a proper lap,
focused lap here.
All right.
Okay, here we go. Tim Hauraney. Let's see what kind of time Tim Hauraney can put it in. Fernando Alonso's Aston Martin, but it's not from this year, it's from last year. We're still using F1 2024. And that's probably a good thing given where the Aston Martin car is right now. Not great. One thing I will say with this sim rig that we have is that it is a lot harder than it looks, especially the way Tim drives it, which is like a real race car, where he doesn't have the traction control assists. And he is obviously paddle shifting and all of those things. I tried it last week in Monaco. You should check it out. I almost made it all the way around the track in the rain. Blew it on the last corner. The Mick Schumacher corner. You guys remember that from a couple of years ago. Tim's doing a pretty good job right now. I probably shouldn't say that, though, out loud, because that might cause him to spin out.
Adam! Damn it! No!
I validated lap time! Do you want to try one more time?
No, well, yeah. Well, let's see what this is.
Okay, all right.
I think the tires are coming to the end of their life anyway.
Oh, are they? Are they almost burnt
I
out?
think so, yeah.
Okay, a little sliding all over the track?
I'm just getting a lot of understeer now.
No, okay. Oh, yeah, there you go. Oh, there he is. Here, why don't we reset it?
Okay.
And then we'll go to...
some freshies?
We'll go to some fresh tires. Oh, yeah, they look a little burnt out. By the way, the new graphics apparently for this are going to be, or for F1 25 apparently are going to be spectacular.
Oh, I can't wait to play that game.
Yeah.
That's going to be great.
And you're going to actually, they're saying like the one thing they're focusing on in the new game, because it releases in July every year, which is I think an awkward time of year for it to release, but that's what they do, is you're really going to start to feel the elevation. They said they wanted to work on it for 24, 25 now. They're like apparently hardcore on. If a track goes up and down,
you're really gonna feel
it.
it.
You should feel that in the car.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Am I allowed to talk?
Yes, you can talk.
All right. I just want to talk to Tim.
Just don't jinx the lap.
Yeah. So Tim.
It's already garbage.
Tim's already mad. He's got to try to recover here though. This is it. One of the things I think that we got to find out here is where Mercedes kind of fits in with the championship. Are they able to regularly outrace Max Verstappen? Are they able to, like, clearly they can win, or they can do second place in the World Teams Championship. Can George Russell get back into the perennial podium sort of slot away from Max Verstappen?
God.
Just go for the lap anyway. We're going for the lap. Screw it. That I think is going to be interesting because the Mercedes car is so much better in the heat now, right? It used to be a cold weather car only. That's why Lewis won Silverstone last year. Now you're kind of going, oh, you guys actually have some tire in the heat.
Tire in the heat.
You know what I mean?
I love it.
All right. What do we think? How do we do?
I'm not going out like that.
Oh, you're not going out like that? All right.
I'm not going out like that. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. I know everyone's here.
All right. No, we're all here to see you succeed. That's what we want. We want to go Tim. Okay? So I'm curious about that. I'm also curious about Williams this weekend because that car has been coming on stronger and stronger. It, for the last 2 or 3 years, has been really good. Straight line car. Balance has been a bit weird. Not great in the corners. So, those corner-heavy tracks doesn't do great at. This year, we're starting to see some improvements, and obviously it helps to have 2 really good drivers. So I'm curious about their positioning. Are they able to get into a 5-6 spot? Are they able to, take advantage of somebody else's mistake and perhaps get ahead? You've seen Alex Albon, who's got a lot more confidence in the car still than Carlos Sainz does, get ahead of guys, and of course, guys that he probably shouldn't be ahead of, and, ultimately have to kind of move out of the way for them because, the car just can't compete at the top level yet, but they are far and away the best midfield pack team. And now the goal is, how do we get into those top 3, top 4? And I think they're close. We'll see if they keep developing the car. Here we go, Tim! How do we feel?
Pissed. I lost so much time in the third sector, and I don't know why. I got to go back and look at the lap.
I like that you're that competitive about it. That makes me happy.
I'm not happy about this.